beep, beep. What is up, ninjas? My name is Sam World, and consider this my dive back into big room for a bit as we talk today about Future Rave tom basslines. Now, if you don't know what Future Rave is, this is a sound pioneered by David Guetta and Morten. And if you've seen Guetta, I think he's like 50 or something. You go, goddamn, that man aged like wine. He's one
sexy bitch.
Now, if you've heard any of Morten and David Guetta stuff, in some of the tracks, you're going to notice there's a lot of tom movement going on, and it's a little confusing for people to kind of dissect. So today we're going to break it down and do a little bit of a video on the theory behind it and how you can have maybe the tom drive the rhythm while the bass supplies the low end and a bit of swing, and vice versa. As always, guys, if you want to support the channel, make sure to head over to evilsounds.com. I am currently working on a Future Rave pack, so you guys know I love to make tutorials with the sound banks I'm currently creating. You guys don't have to buy them if you have access to all of these sounds, of course. But if you want to support your boy, that's the best way to do it, guys. I have access to a lot of sound banks on there. And with that being said, let's get started with this. So here I'm going to have a little MIDI melody going, which is going to sound like this. Okay, so as you can see, the sound itself, if I were to play it like, you know, maybe a little different, a little sexier, a little darker, it would sound a little bit more like techno-ish in a way. It's one of those saw leads, and in this genre, the Future Rave, it's all saw leads, but very strong. Now, what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to have a tom here, which, again, you can use any sort of tom. I'm using a heartbeat tom, you know what I'm saying? Boop, boop, boop. And we're going to essentially create a rhythm here. So if you have a melody, you could definitely use the melody to help create the tom rhythm because, again, you want the rhythms to coexist together. You want them to get along to you know, go like, hey, you're a nice rhythm. Hey, you too. Kind of vibe, not like trying to outdo each other. So you can definitely use the melody or etc. But with toms, usually you don't want to hit where the kick's at. I think that's very self-explanatory. We want to hit where the kick is not. So we're gonna make this a little shorter because, you know, this is too big for Daddy San. You know, I have practice, but it's just too big. It's like, it looks like 10 inches, 10 bars. All right, so we're just gonna lay it down here and make a rhythm. So again, you can follow the melody if you have one, and if you don't fret. Again, just kind of go with the vibe. So, you know, if you want to make a little reggaeton rhythm, it's just going to be like that, but this is not what we want to do. And, you know, vice versa, you can also do this, which everyone knows, but you know what? Bad Bunny. All right, so let's get straight into this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go and start making a rhythm and just play around with it. So I'm going to go with that. Okay, so these two work, the middle one doesn't. But then again, the middle, you know, the middle never. Okay, I like that. You can kind of see how it kind of goes with the melody a bit, and it gets along pretty nicely. Nope. See, you can kind of tell. It's like the music, when you're working on music, guys, once you get an idea down, just keep working forward because you will kind of hear the music is asking you to just like, oh, daddy, add a little tom here. Kind of vibes to it. So again, a lot of times, you know, like, And there you go. That seems to be it. What Morten does a lot, and what you should be doing because you want to make room for that lead, of course, is we're going to kind of low pass and high pass this tom to place it somewhere specifically in the mix. So we're going to leave all of this here for the kick and obviously the bass, okay? So from there, we're going to move up. There's a couple of options that you have from here, okay? First one is we can have the bass follow it, and the bass itself, I'll show you what I'm doing, guys. I have a tutorial called Tech House Bass, which essentially is a sub because these guys just don't know how to innovate. I'm just kidding. It's hard. Yeah, it's just a Tech House Bass. It has some good vibes to it. We're going to get rid of that. So now it's going to sound like this. We're using a low pass to remove some of the high end we don't need. Of course, we have more kind of bodyguards on the way there. We're also going to saturate. And of course, you know, some people think side chaining is like a tip to make the kick pop through more. I just call it, you know, an ordinary day in life. But once we have that, this is how it sounds like. Now, if that don't sound boring, I don't know what does. But from here, we're going to spice things up. So, of course, you hear that and you're like, It could work if the tom was hitting a lot more. But then at that point, you're going to lose a lot of that nice little swag that it has. So it's time to mortify this. So we can, obviously, the self-explanatory thing would be to start it here. You could do... That does a huge difference, obviously. But now, what you're doing with the sub bass is you're going to stay true to the tom bass to an extent. I'll show you another variation to this because there's various things you can do, obviously. It's just theories that I have, but you can always say, hey, Sam, fuck you, if you want, and do whatever you want, of course. But this is just so that you guys can understand this, and from there, take it to and make it your own. So we're going to have... I can elongate this for sure. Okay. And then from there, we're going to have this guy. So again, play with the length. The length is very important. You can see how very staccato-ish it feels there. But here, it sustains a little longer. So again, you get a little bit more power. At the expense of what, though? At the expense of the rhythm. But I think it sounds better this way. Hopefully we agree. And we're just going to vibe. All right, that's sexy. Sexy beach. Okay, here. Notice here, maybe I don't need that, but we'll try. Okay, yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty good. Here, maybe a staccato. I'm trying to separate these because when you have a synth like Syrup, you mono it, it's going to sustain out all the way. Here sounds a little naked, so we're just going to add a little bit of love into there. There we go. Okay. Still a little naked, so we're just going to bring in more love. Okay, a little better. Maybe this. Okay, cool. Now from here, this sounds a little better, and if we play this out, like just... It sounds cool. However, there's other ways to kind of emphasize a little more. You can definitely have the tom move an octave up if you wanted to, like, do cool stuff. Or down. And again, this is going to help because it changes the tone and it changes the dynamics of it. So I think that was a good switch. We're just going to add that. You can also switch in intervals of like +7 if you wanted to. So, you know, Mama taught me how to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not the greatest. Okay, again, that's self-explanatory. The 7th harmonic, you know, so it's going to work. Okay, with that out of the way, the bass now, we can do really cool stuff with it. So we could do glides if you guys are into it. So glides occur, you know, doom, doom, and we can definitely program those. The important thing is we're going to mess with the portamento time here in order to do them. Now, you don't have to glide. You can go straight to it. And in some of Morten's tracks, he doesn't glide. He's too cool for it. So, you know, doom, 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 doom. You could glide. You don't have to. So we're just going to program that. And we could probably do one here. And again, maybe have this elongate now. And yeah, we could do that. Let's try it. And then maybe on the halfway mark the next time. Go up. And then here, I'm just going to add this so that we get the... Okay. Again, you kind of get the idea there of that. But now with the glide, you can control that with the portamento. So again, you can increase. If you go lower, it's going to get up there faster. So you're actually going to hear it. Okay. But as you can tell, it kind of slows the rhythm down a bit. So we got to be really careful where we do. And let's elongate. Okay, If you are not a fan of that, we can definitely maybe slow it down a bit. So it's more of like a shift in the pitch, but not too much. So we go high portamento. Okay, so again, have fun, vibe with it. Other things you can do here is we can add a bit of swing if you want to, you know, just if you're gonna do it, make sure to add it to your tom and your bass, okay? And it's just gonna shift the notes a bit and also mess with the velocity. Okay, so I like that, you know, I'm grooving with it and that's cool. Now, on to the next stuff. So you don't have to do this. You don't have to have the bass follow the tom rhythm at all. You can let the tom rhythm define the tom define the rhythm, and then you have the sub just hold out a little longer. So what that looks gonna look like is a little like this. Okay, so we're just gonna elongate this a bit. Again, messing with the portamento. We're going to open this filter up a bit so we can actually hear. Okay, that's cool. Now, the other thing I like too about this is that if you know your tom patterns really well, you can also glide. Like we can do the reggaeton sub bass glide, which, you know, if you hear that, you're going, God damn, that's sexy as shit. No wonder you're Latino. All right, so we're just going to do it, which is going to sound something like this. Again, I don't think I've heard it in a song, but it might work. Who knows? I'm just going to try it out. I don't know if that's the real glide, but we're doing. No, it's not the greatest there. But again, you can do various routes. Nicky Romero does something very interesting, which is a little bit of a tech house trick where you just glide up and down, side to side, like a roller coaster. Up and down on that. Something like that. In my head, it sounded good, okay? So there we go. I think that's it. And that's going to be the end of the video. When it comes to tom bass lines, that's the vast of my knowledge on it. But if you have any other tips you want to leave, make sure to leave it down in the comments down below. It might be triplets or other cool stuff when it relates to rhythm. My goal with my tutorials, of course, is to inspire you guys to make this stuff and to decipher. I know a lot of people hear a lot of the Morten tracks and they just get a little confused as they are a bit busy with all that reverb. But at the end of the day, guys, these are the basics. If you can nail this stuff from there, I'll make other tutorials for the other stuff soon. And hopefully you can make your very own Future Rave song as well. That being said, you guys take care. I'll leave you with one more.
Sexy beach.
And as always, have fun producing. If you want to support the channel, evilsounds.com. Good night.